So, this one's gonna be about eating habits, and the eating habits of one of the probably most known or best known bodybuilders of the fucking history of bodybuilding. You might know who I mean, but I'm gonna tell you after the intro as always because kind of like attention. But and yeah, we're also gonna talk about wellness in general, I guess, at least this is what they have been talking about in the first few sentences of this article. But yeah, I'll see you after the intro, and then we're gonna talk about an hopefully amazing article, hopefully. Well. And with this being said, hello and welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics fucking podcast. And I'm pretty pumped. I'm pretty pumped to be here, going through another nice article, I hope at least. I really do hope. This is kind of the problem with, going through articles you haven't gone through before, or you kind of just assume that it is going to be great or going to be interesting, but you don't know, But the thing is, that's why I'm here, I really do hope that I'm also kind of a factor that makes everything a little bit more interesting, because I can still add all the other things that I'm having in my mind to this article so that it might get a little bit more of a valuable thing. I at least hope that I'm able to do that. I don't really know. But yeah, you might know whom I'm talking about. And you probably also know that I'm Austrian. And this guy is also from Austria. At least he was born there. He didn't really like to live here, just because I think he was living in Kitzbühel, which is actually a pretty near place where I'm living. And it is really interesting, It is really interesting to see that somebody from my kind of, or from such a kind of little town, at least, compared to Vienna or compared to other Salzburg, to other big Graz, other big cities in Austria, it is definitely not a really big city. It is definitely, I at least think that he's from Kitzbühel. I don't actually know. I think I might no, I guess I've just fucked up something. Let's actually see. By the way, to just kind of solve this mystery, it is about Arnold Schwarzenegger, Schwarzenegger. But I don't know where he's born, I'm just looking it up, but I guess it is actually not Kitzbühel. I don't know, it is a pretty shame that I even don't know. Born in, no, it is Styra. It is not Kitzbühel. I fucked up. I'm very sorry. I really fucked up there. It is definitely not near my place. It is definitely quite some distance, between me and Arnold's old town, I guess. I'm sorry. But yeah, it is about Arnold Schwarzenegger, this dude. And he's 72 right now, which is definitely something. He's definitely kind of an old dude right now. But yeah, this is about his wellness routine, as CNBC says here in this article. And it was published or actually updated. Let's actually take the updated version. It was updated on Friday. It's actually yesterday. It was updated yesterday. Really interesting, and it was also published yesterday, initially, but then they seemed to had something to change, I guess. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna read, so that you consume it without reading it, and that's gonna be it, If you do not have the time to go through a 30-minute episode of somebody reading something, which is something that I can understand, then please go into the description and there is a link to the podcast, because this is actually a podcast, which means that you can also listen to what I'm talking about here, which saves quite a lot of time, because you can do something besides that, which means that you can do something simultaneously to that, which is pretty nice, It is pretty nice. It saves quite some time. It is pretty efficient. So yeah, there's a picture from Arnold Schwarzenegger, which is actually the German, Austrian pronunciation, or Arnold Schwarzenegger, started pumping iron at the age of 15. By the time he was 20, the Austrian native had won his first major bodybuilding event, which is the Mr. Universe, which is really insane. I think he's actually the youngest Mr. Universe winner, as far as I at least know. Schwarzenegger went on to win 13 more World Championships titles in bodybuilding and eventually became a Hollywood action star, film star, With big roles like The Terminator and Kindergarten Cop in 2003, he became the governor of California. During his bodybuilding days, though, Schwarzenegger says he was nicknamed the garbage disposal because of his rampant and voracious appetite. Yeah, I think, this just must be a key, to his success, just because if you want to gain weight, you have to eat quite a lot of shit. This is just something that you have to do. It wouldn't be physically possible to gain weight without eating enough things. Something that I struggle with, and I think it is actually something that a lot of people struggle with that are willing to gain some weight and pack on some muscle or whatever you want to do. It is really something that a lot of people are struggling with. But the key is just eating enough of calories. It doesn't necessarily have to be enough food or a lot of food. It could just also be something that has a lot of calories, potentially, in theory. The thing is, you just also should look after your nutrients. Like, you need the protein. Like, you just need it for recovery, for building muscle, for building, in general, I think, body tissue, I guess. So everything that is in your body just needs protein to be kind of made somehow, as far as I know, at least. So you just need to eat enough. And if you don't do this, it won't work, It won't just work, It's something that I deeply struggle with because I'm really not able to just eat as much, especially if you're doing intermittent fasting, which is something that I do as well. Might not have been the best option to do, but I really feel great, because of it. I really feel great. I'm actually still in my fast, I do have to fast for an additional, I think, 2 hours or something, 3 hours, something like this. But I'm able to work in a really early morning, which is amazing. It is really amazing. I can get up, work, and that's then it. Just because I'm already in this mood of just fasting, kind of the half day long. I'm really into this mood, and I really believe that you have to be in this mood, because if you're not kind of trained, or if you haven't practiced this, it's definitely going to be a pretty fucked up thing. It's definitely going to be a pretty difficult thing because you're not used to it. But once you get used to it, it is a fairly easy thing. It is really easy. Something to be said is that you still have to be kind of, there still have to be kind of a discipline there, because if you're not disciplined, you're gonna just eat something no matter what, no matter if you should be eating something right now or not, you would, something you have to look out for, something you really have to look out for. But I think I'm just gonna go on reading there, just gonna read this amazing article. So anything that is in the kitchen sink, anything you can find on the kitchen floor, just scrape it up, put it in there, and I will love it. Schwarzenegger told Men's Health in September about his younger self. But I actually think that this is actually a joke, I really don't believe that, I've actually had a look at this interview. I watched this interview because I was interested. Especially I was interested in what is in Schwarzenegger's fridge, because I don't know if you know this kind of format they are having, or this kind of series, quote unquote, that they are having. It is like, okay, they ask famous people or successful people, more like famous people, I guess. They ask famous people what is in their fridge and what their gym looks like. And this is quite it. This is the format. This is kind of the content. And it is pretty interesting, though. I'm not even saying that it is just bad content or whatever. It is pretty interesting, especially when it is about Schwarzenegger, because I was deeply interested in what you can find in his fridge. And you should maybe watch it as well. I think if you, there might be some link there, because there you can see that it is just, so Men's Health has another color than the rest of the text. So it might be a link. I don't know. I could actually see. No, I think it is. Well, it is the article, There is a video, but this seems to be the article. Yeah. And the video is also linked there. So go to this article, so to the CNBC article that I'm just reading, and then you can find the other link to the other article and also video. And there's actually a picture of Arnold, and he looks fairly young. I guess he should be like 20 or something. But the thing is, he's definitely in good shape. There's nothing to debate about it, like nothing. He's just in really fucking good shape. It is amazing. It is really amazing. So he even recalled eating half a cherry pie 3 days before competing in a worldwide bodybuilding competition which he then won. I wasn't always health conscious, he told the magazine. When you're young, you get away with a lot of things, which is definitely the truth. Like, you can do quite a lot of things when you're young, but in the end, especially with sports, if you're not doing sports when you're just really young and you just have all these energy and whatever, it is fine. Like, it truly is fine, and there's nothing to kind of worry there. But if you get older, I don't know. I really do think that if you get older, you just notice, okay, I haven't done any sports until then. I do really believe that you feel that, or that you will feel that. Yeah, so my advice, and something that I deeply believe in, and a lot of other really successful people believe in, is just doing some sports, doing some exercise, working out a little bit. I do not even want to say that you should just be working out like, I don't know, 4 hours each day, 7 times a week. I'm not saying that, I think just 3 times a week for 1 hour is totally enough, and that's 3 hours out of let's see, 168 hours, which leaves you with 165 hours. And I think it is still enough. Like, and through those 3 hours a week, you're able to sustain a pretty good health there. It is just insane. It is actually not that much. It really is not. It really is not. I, at this point in time, work out for 5 hours a week, 5 days a week, for 1 hour quite. And I feel pretty great. I feel pretty great, even though on some days it's definitely a little bit stressful. On some days I really don't feel like working out, but I don't give a fuck about how you feel about it. Something that Tony Robbins actually also said. He gives a fuck about how you feel. If there is something you have to do, you should just be doing it, no matter how you feel. No matter if you feel right, quote unquote, or if you feel like doing this. Because, often the thing is, will you actually feel right at any point in time? Won't it just be a thing, or will it just be a thing? It is like, okay, I do just not feel right, and the next time and the next day it's gonna be the same, and the next day it's also gonna be the same, and the day afterwards it's also still gonna be the same. You kind of feel like not right, or not like doing this, which leaves me with just do it. Just do it. Just do it, no matter how you feel. If you're really fucking ill and you're puking and you're just having diarrhea and every fucking shit, then maybe you kind of can just leave it out, I guess, But most often, I guess, doing it will leave you feeling better, I guess. Schwarzenegger's diet now. Now at 72, and after having a health scare in 2008, when he underwent emergency open heart surgery to replace a pulmonary valve. Don't know what this is. He has changed his eating and fitness habits drastically. Schwarzenegger says he now stays away from meat and animal proteins when possible, but still enjoys a steak every once in a while. There's this misperception that animal protein is the only way you get big and strong, he said, but he finds that he actually feels better on greens. Indeed, plant-based eating and veganism, or veganism, it's not veganism, it's veganism, has become something of a secret weapon in the NFL. Pretty interesting. Schwarzenegger says he now focuses his diet more on oats, greens, and vegetables. When Men's Health looked inside Schwarzenegger's work fridge during the interview, there were staples such as lettuce, strawberries, grapes, blueberries, bananas, watermelons, and eggs. The Terminator star is also a fan of the plant-based meat products that have been created buzz recently. Plant-based meat products. I'm definitely not a fan of those, because I kind of believe it just really, they just really contain a lot of chemicals and a lot of things that should just not be in your fucking food. Something that I believe in. You might feel about it differently, but yeah. For a treat, Schwarzenegger has what he calls his secret protein drink, a German drink called Radler, that combines lemonade and beer. Yeah, I think, I drank beer once, or was it once? Yeah, I think it was actually once, and the other times I've actually only, or have I? I think the other times I've actually only drank Radler, or whatever you want to call it. the thing is, it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. The thing is, it still contains alcohol, so just be aware of that. Because working out and alcohol are definitely like kind of opposite things. You shouldn't combine them. They should just not be kind of. You should actually not drink alcohol when you're working out. It won't just work. It is not a good idea. It is just not a good idea because, as far as I know, the problem with alcohol and working out is that if you drink something, if you drink some alcohol, then it's gonna be like your body has to break it down for the next 24 hours, and it's gonna take 24 hours. Please take this with a grain of salt. I'm really not educated in that space. I just kind of remember things that I've been looking up, as I was in my kind of high phase of working out, where just my main goal was to look fucking pumped and whatever. And they said, and then I've read like, okay, it is not a good idea because your body is basically not able to produce, quote unquote, or build muscle in this phase or during the time the body is busy actually breaking down the alcohol in your body. As far as I know, maybe you look this up again, because it might be just some wrong information. I don't know. I really don't know. But please look it up. Please look it up for yourself and see if there is some truth behind it and whatsoever. But something that is definitely the case is that alcohol is for sure, to 100% it's not healthy. It's really not healthy. So just because of this reason, you shouldn't just consume it, At least, some people also say like wine is a pretty good thing and wine is also pretty healthy and whatsoever in just low doses or doses, whatever. And I don't know, like I kind of do not believe in it just because there is just alcohol in there. It is just not healthy. And I always think about those things as just some ways people can feel good about consuming certain things, And it has often been the case, Also, all the studies and also the articles that are saying like, okay, eating a handful of sweets each day is just totally fine. You can do this, but they don't say it. They don't say it is healthy. They just don't say it is fucking healthy. They say it is fine. They say it won't harm you as much as, I don't know, eating a bucket full of sweets each day. Of course it won't, but of course it's also not going to be healthy. And if you want to be healthy, you're going to just strictly don't eat shit. And that's quite it. Like, I don't know. I do just have a pretty strong opinion on those things. It kind of even pisses me off sometimes, to be honest, because I really feel like, it is just a way, that people can eat shit and drink shit and do not feel bad about it. I think it is actually the only way, Maybe it is even kind of based on economy thing or economical reasons. What I mean is like, okay, actually companies do these studies and then show people, okay, it is fine if you eat my product. But they just obviously don't say it is their product, and they even don't say, okay, this study is founded by or funded by, I don't know, Snickers and Mars and whatever. But you know what I mean. Because you're a smart ass dude and girl or girl. So, and his workout. Schwarzenegger still works out at Gold's Gym, the first gym he went to when he came to America in 1968. It is actually quite some time, to be honest, at 7 a.m. every day. He also does another workout in the afternoon, a 45-minute bike ride, followed by an evening workout at home. He also, I think, drives to the Gold's Gym with his bike, which I guess is actually the 45-minute bike ride, but I'm not quite sure, Maybe I've misunderstood something in the interview, but yeah. But his lifting routine has completely changed. I'm not training heavy anymore, he said. After my heart surgery, I was advised not to train heavy, not to go 3 reps, heaviest weight and all that stuff, because, it is actually like, if you're trying to really gain strength, the best way, as far as I know at least, is to just have low reps and high weight. If you're working out with weights, if you're doing some calisthenics, it's also essentially going to be the exact same thing. The only difference is that you're not using weights, but you're actually trying to get a lot of pressure and a lot of tension on your muscle fiber, which means, okay, you're going to do the push-ups so fucking slowly that it's just going to hurt really much. Essentially, like, it is actually the truth. Like, it is actually what we do or what people do, whatever. But, he also says So now I do lighter weights and more reps. Additionally, he started to incorporate more stretching and warm-up moves into his workouts to help with recovery. Something that I really am not doing, unfortunately. Like, I'm not stretching, I'm not warming up. Maybe I do have a warm-up set, which usually takes like 5 minutes for myself, but I do not stretch. Something that I do not do, besides just the stretching in the shower. I do stretch in the shower when I'm having my cold shower. It is actually a pretty nice thing because you can stretch just, I don't know, like I could actually kind of go down, with my hands to my feet and then just through my feet, and then I could grab my fucking ass. I could do that, No, I can't, But the thing is, if you're in a cold shower, you kind of can, because you, at least this is what works for me, or this is how it is for me. I'm way more fucking stretchy if I'm taking a cold shower. I don't know why. Maybe this is even scientifically proven or some shit, but I'm just way more stretchy if I'm in a cold shower. It is great, like it is really great to just grab my ass and whatever, but I'm just joking. I'm just joking. If you haven't noticed, I'm just joking. But it's pretty interesting, it's pretty interesting, but additionally to that, I do have to say that lighter weights and more reps is essentially the same as studies have shown as lower reps and high weight. The other issue of high weight and low reps is that the potential of you kind of hurting your wrists or your joints in general and your bones and whatever are pretty high, because high weights, high chance, high weights, it just makes sense. But yeah, this is actually the end of the article. But before we actually finish up with this article, with this episode actually, we are having to go through another Quora questions. I should actually kind of look forward to just questions that kind of are interesting. Maybe I should actually kind of, make myself a list or something. I think the first one is actually a pretty good one. The first one is actually a pretty good one. What are the worst graphic design applications? I'm going to repeat it. What are the worst graphic design applications? The thing is, as you might know, I'm a graphic designer. Actually, at least I'm attending a graphic design school. I like design. I love design. I do just like aesthetic things. I just like them. It's just amazing, how much I actually like those things, whether it be products, whether it be designs, especially, whether it be architecture, whether it be just moods in a room, light, whatever it is. I do just like aesthetic things, The thing is there a worst, graphic design application? I don't think so there is. I really don't think there is a bad graphic design application. There might be better ones, there might be just really good ones like, I don't know, Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator. These are really amazing pieces of software. They are just insanely amazing. Like, they are truly insane. You can do just such a lot of things with that. But the thing is, there is a painter, there's a painter, and you can also watch the video. He's painting with fucking Excel. Microsoft fucking Excel. He's painting with that, and he can do that, and they even look pretty nice, his artworks, they just really look nice, you couldn't tell that they are done with Excel. I don't know what it is like with the printing thing, because I don't know if the quality is good enough to actually print them. It seems actually to be the case that they are great enough, some sort of, because he prints them, but I don't know, I haven't had a close look at them, so I couldn't actually tell. The thing is, there is not a worse or a bad graphic design application or software whatsoever. There's only a bad user. It's the same thing as if I would actually kind of blame my softwares that my design is shitty. Like, I'm then a shitty designer, or this piece of work is just not good, and it does not have anything to do with the piece of software that I'm using. It has something to do with me. And some people are just using Paint to create amazing artworks. Some people are using GIMP for amazing artworks. Some people use Photoshop and make shitty artwork. It is what it is. Like, it does really not have anything to do with the software. It really to some degree. It has nothing to do to some degree with the software. If you're just a really pro, of course, it makes sense to upgrade your product, at least at my point of view. At my point of view, there are some benefits of better software, of course, but in the end, everything starts, or actually in the beginning, initially, everything starts with the user and the person that is actually using the software. But yeah, this is actually going to be the end of the episode. I've actually enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed it. I hope you have enjoyed it as well. If there's any question, just hit me up on social media or put a comment down in the comment section. Would be amazing. I would really appreciate that actually. But yeah, I wish you the best health, happiness, and also success. And I also hope that you're going to remind yourself on how you gonna be remembered, which means your legacy. Essentially it means your legacy. But the thing is, no matter how nice you are, so that you get remembered as a nice person, as a good person, no matter how nice and generous and kind you are, there's still gonna be someone that is a fucking, like in the end, it is just their fault. They just don't like you or even hate you. But it is not just because you are you, it is because they are them, because they have a fucked up life, because they have a pretty shitty life, because they are really unhappy with how their life is. 3 other questions that I hope that you're going to ask yourself are, why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? Which means, these 3 questions might lead you to figure out your purpose in life, to figure out why are you here. Yeah, you get the point. So, which is actually a pretty important part of having a happy and healthy life, at least at my point of view. But yeah, with that being said, please subscribe if you've liked it, and please also like if you have liked it, and I'm gonna see you the next time. I at least hope.